Hello, my most awesome project managers. We're going to have some fun today, taking a look at some dumb agile memes that are out there. This one's been circulating for quite a while. Let's take a look at it. By agile, you mean waterfall in sprints? Absolutely hilarious. We already know that agile is not waterfall in sprints, hopefully. But a lot of people from the waterfall world, they have this misconception that agile is all fake and it's pretty much just taking waterfall and putting it into something called sprints. That's not true. Let's take a look at another one. When your boss thinks you're totally agile, but you've just put Post-its on a wall. Isn't that true? Ridiculous, isn't it? Here's another one. One does not simply cut waterfall into sprints. And that's exactly what I'm saying. It's very true. Now, this is a true meme. This one is right on point. Here's another one. We're going agile. We start our first 6-month sprint tomorrow. That's so ridiculous. You do know that the word sprint, the concept of sprints, is really from Scrum, right? You do know that. So when people say sprints take more than a month, you know they totally don't understand anything from that world of Scrum. So in the most recent Scrum guide, the duration of a sprint is referred to as less than 4 weeks. So 4 weeks or less. Let's take a look at another one here. This is a pretty hilarious one. We do Scrum, but ensure that our dev team commits to the scope during sprint planning. It's like forcing the team to commit to the scope without really assessing if they can get it done. That's backwards. So this is a backwards meme. This is not how it works. That's so silly. Here's another one. I booked a meeting room for a 2-hour Scrum. What's that? I mean, it should have even said daily Scrum, but people just refer to the daily Scrum as Scrum. Well, it's 15 minutes, and yeah, this is just wrong. Just wrong. Some people, you know, one of the funny things I've heard in industry, some people say, oh yeah, we do a daily Scrum. Yeah, we have a daily Scrum every Wednesday. That's not daily. You got it wrong. So ridiculous. All right, let's take a look at another one here. This one is classic. This is and it's the kind of thing he would say, right? We're now 100% agile, right? Look at the horrendous lumbering, fumbling, bumbling framework that they've put there. So anti the Agile Manifesto value #1. This is so against it. No. To be agile, there's no such thing as 100% agile. You're agile or you're not, right? You're either agile. There's no I'm 50% agile. No, you're either agile or you're not. So saying you're 100% agile is totally against the grain of what agile actually is. It's a way of thinking. So you're either thinking in an agile fashion or you're not. No frameworks can save you. You know, this is one of the things I have to go put on my teacher hat here, because when we talk about agile, people get it wrong. Agile is a mindset. It's not a framework. It's not a methodology. You know, I hear people say, oh, we're going to scale agile. We're going to use that agile framework. No, no. You're not going to scale agile, right? You need to evangelize agile. You know, you need to get people to be on that same wavelength in how they think and how they behave, how they act. That's what agile is. So relying on some framework to scale, please, give me a break. I understand you may scale a framework, but you cannot scale a mindset. You know, so let's just let it rest. It's not about the practices. Agile is more about behavior, okay? So when I see that meme of Trump there, and I take a closer look at that framework, I'm like, no, you got it wrong. You got it wrong, because You can do that all day long, and your mindset is so out of whack that you're so far away from Agile, it's not even funny. So you're telling me if we stand for 15 minutes every day, we'll be more effective? That is just so hilarious. No. The reason why we put a time box around those daily scrums is so that we can spend a minimum amount of time to get a maximum amount of output, redirection, refocus, and it's pretty much a planning meeting. A lot of people think it's a status meeting. It's not about status. Is it possible that you understand what someone has done? Yeah, but that's not status. No one's giving readouts or saying, I'm 20% there, I'm 40%. No, that's not the purpose of the meeting. The purpose of the meeting is to understand progress and to realign, right? To find a confluence of ideas and actions, to pivot accordingly, to unearth impediments and to go after those impediments with a vehemence. You know, that's really what it's about. So it's not just about standing casually for no good reason. One of the misconceptions that I find, you know, in that first meme that we looked at, one of the misconceptions, it's funny, but after a while it becomes not even funny because people call everything that is plan-driven waterfall. And I want to correct that, right? Not everything that is planned in advance should be called waterfall. Waterfall is very specific to software development. That's why it's called waterfall software development model, right? It's not everything that is planned that we should call waterfall. I would rather you say predictive project management. If you say predictive project management, predictive methods, it's okay because waterfall has taken such a horrible rap and people have equated that to mean predictive project management has no place. That's not true. Predictive methods have their place, but I feel that a project manager can be a lot more effective if they combined it with an agile mindset overall. Being agile means you are pivoting to use the most appropriate method and framework and tool. That in and of itself is being agile. But there's always, in my mind, there's always an opportunity to think and be agile. The opportunity is always there. Even if you're using a predictive method, there's always going to be an opportunity to think in a flexible, fluid, dynamic fashion and pivot accordingly. Pivoting to a more predictive planning method when it best fits the situation, that's being agile. Being rigid and say, no, everything has to be like this. That makes sense. Why do you want to put a square peg in a round hole? It fits a square hole. Just use a square peg. Or it fits a round hole. Just use a round peg. You don't need to make it fit, right? If you look at the Stacy complexity model, it'll educate you on when you should be more predictive in your planning and in your delivery. But in your thinking, you should always be agile in your thinking. Always. You should always be on the lookout for the best mousetrap. That's what agile is. All right, so we need to go back to the basement and stop calling everything that's plan-driven agile or everything that's plan-driven waterfall, rather. Right? We need to stop doing that. All right, let's see which other memes we've got here. Got another one. I don't always do agile. But when I do it like waterfall. That's just so daft. Again, it points back to people getting it wrong, that agile is a mindset, first and foremost. You don't do agile. You are meant to be agile. Be agile in your thinking. Be agile in your language. Be agile in your approach. Be agile in your actions. You are not going to be able to do agile except you don't understand agile and you're doing agile. It's just nonsense. So agile, first and foremost, is a posture. It's a position. It's a frame of mind. All right, in closing, I want to talk about fake agile. There are a lot of fake agile dogmas out there, and I don't want you to get caught into it. right? Don't get caught with the fake dogma, which is why I'm going to expose it today. I'm going to expose the fake agile today. Yes, yes, yes. So, how best to expose fake agile? Other than go to the mothership. I call it the mothership, where the 17 fathers of agile, forefathers of the Agile Manifesto, right? Yeah, let's take a look at the Agile Manifesto. The Agile Manifesto needs to govern your entire mindset towards Agile. Agile, again, is not about frameworks and methods. Primarily, it's about your posture and how you think. So, read the history of the Agile Manifesto. That would be my recommendation. And read the rather colorful history about the manifesto right down here, right? I've actually covered this on a previous edition, and we read it all the way down to the end, and it's a rather colorful article by Jim Highsmith. I'll just give you the top of the waves. February 2001, these 17 anarchists, these rebels from the software community, decided to get together and find a better mousetrap for software development. They got together and they named themselves the Agile Alliance. When all was said and done, they came up with the Agile Manifesto. And the Agile Manifesto simply reads, "We are uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it and helping others do it. Through this work, we have come to value individuals and interactions over processes and tools." You see, it's a mindset. Some people value tools and processes more. And that's why when I was showing you those memes, I got to call up that meme, that Trump meme, this meme right here. This is an example of a violation of value number one. Individuals and interactions come first. No matter how good your fancy framework or method is, it is nothing without the right mindset. But a lot of people, they fail to realize this. So their emphasis is more on the processes and the tools. And that's not how to do it, my friends. That's not the right way. Our emphasis needs to be to the max on thinking, on behavior, right? Work in product over comprehensive documentation. I like reading it as work in product because we use this everywhere in the world today. This mindset, this posture is used not just for software. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. You know, in the traditional world where I have worked quite heavily, there was a going joke in one of the firms I was affiliated with, and it was, did you know that Kent bought his boat with those change orders because he billed the customer so high that at the end of the day he could buy a boat with ease because he negotiated, oh, that's going to cost you more money. But that doesn't need to be our mindset in this world. You see, Agile is a mindset. Our mindset needs to be, how can we get our customer what they want without making them break the bank, right? Without robbing the coffers, right? How can we do that? Maybe we could give them some change for free. We just swap something of comparable size out. Why not do that? But in other worlds, there's always this price gouging, eye gouging approach. No, we don't do that in the world of Agile. It's a mindset, it's a posture, it's a servanthood posture. It's a good, calmer type of posture where you're not trying to rob your client. You're trying to work for their advantage. I'm not saying don't get paid, but I'm saying you need to have a mindset that is more collaborative over one of cutthroat negotiation. That's all I'm saying. When we also talk about the Agile values, a huge one is responding to change. That's why I said it's a mindset. The great Mike Tyson, like him or not, he's got some wisdom, and he said everyone has a plan until they're punched in the mouth. Isn't that true? Everyone's got a plan, But when change needs to happen, where does your little plan lie? The plan was good for a season, but when COVID hit, people needed to pivot. That's an example of being agile, you see. So responding to change as opposed to doggedly following a plan that is taking you down to the basement quick. We don't want to do that. So those are the 4 values. Let's take a look at the principles. Now the principles expand on the values, right? I'm just going to paraphrase. In this world of agile thinking, we are obsessed with our customer. We're obsessed with giving them valuable product continuously. We do this early and continuously so that we can learn what we need to and make adjustments to ensure that what they get is what they truly need and want. You can apply this even at the project or portfolio or program level. Welcome changing requirements even late in development. Agile processes harness change for the customer's competitive advantage. In other words, if your customers need changes, let them make them. Just make sure that you're balancing the equation somehow. We're not saying rob yourself. So if you're a company that works for other companies, we're not saying be robbed, but we're just saying welcome changes. If your customer needs that change, why would you refuse it? Right? Under the auspices of, oh, it's in the contract that it has to be done this way. No, be more flexible and accommodative in your mindset. It's really what this is saying. Deliver a working product frequently from a couple of weeks to a couple of months. This is not talking about sprints, right? This is not talking about doing things in phases. This is really just saying release stuff frequently. We're not talking about sprints. It's more about how you release. You could release if it's featured enough, but that's not what we're saying here, right? It's not about releasing every sprint or every iteration. You do want it to be potentially shippable, of course, but you get the point. Business people and developers must work together daily throughout the project. If we're doing things in an agile fashion, great news needs to travel fast, and we need to also get not so great news. We need to be nimble in our approach. Build projects around a motivated team. Why would you want your team to be demotivated and beaten up? They're not going to be able to do great work. So give them a good environment and let them do what they need to do. Get out of their way. Cut the red tape. Stop bullying the team. A lot of managers, they just take delight in browbeating the team, having a Theory X approach. And that's just no good. There are entire companies that have a draconian Theory X approach. Very, very poor. Very poor. And it's sad. I've talked to a lot of PMs in companies and they say, we're always getting beat up in the boardroom. Not good. Not good. The most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within a development team is face-to-face conversation. So check out the great work of Professor Emeritus Albert Mehrabian. It will make more sense why, when you're communicating something revolving around empathy and feeling, you should be face-to-face as much as possible. Next one says, working software is a primary measure of progress. Either you got it 100% or you don't got it. That's the idea. So the primary measure of progress is having your working product. You could say it's 99.99% till the cows come home. It's not done, it's not done. That's why in the world of Agile, we often use the word done. All right, Agile processes promote sustainable development. The sponsors, developers, and users should be able to maintain a constant pace without killing themselves, a constant pace indefinitely. Some teams trying to do so much in a sprint beyond their normal capacity and velocity, and they keep being beaten over the head by management to do things in an inhuman way. No. Don't succumb to it, team. You got to educate people to know that this doesn't mean a fast pace. It could be fast, but that's not what it's saying. It's saying a constant pace. There's a case of a poor guy who worked so hard doing all these crazy overtime hours, and the guy died. What use is that? He's not here anymore. What good is that to the team? So don't burn out your people. Don't burn out your individuals. You got to allow people to work like humans, not like robots. All right. And this is really talking more about the velocity than anything else. Continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhances agility. Good engineering practices, that's what that's talking about. Simplicity, the art of maximizing the amount of work not done, is essential. In other words, keep it simple. So these two, I'm sure engineers would like that, right? Could we keep it any simpler, engineers? Could we think about CI and CD a little bit, right, as developers before tossing the code over the fence, right? Continuous attention to technical excellence, good design, do that refactoring. Be aware that if you don't do it well, it's coming over the fence. Let's go into the world of DevOps. All right, the best architectures, requirements, and designs emerge from self-organizing teams. Why? Because the team owns it. And when they own it, they put in their best plus. Finally, at regular intervals, the team reflects on how to become more effective, then tunes and adjusts its behavior accordingly. You see, this is one of the things that is missing from the world of traditional. And, you know, I'll put my hand up. I've been in the world of traditional for a while. And one of the things we do is we say, lessons learned, and everyone gets a lessons learned, and we talk about what went well and what didn't go so well, and no one does nothing with it. It just stays there in some big old binder or document on a repository. And that's not what we want to do, okay? So, my friends, that's all I wanted to show you for today. Again, a rundown of these hilarious memes. I love them. They crack me up. We go in Agile, we start our first 6-month sprint tomorrow. So ridiculous. This one, sobering but true. I think in all of these, one of my favorites has got to be this one. For sure. Look at the hair. Oh my gosh. And then this one. They said there's no deadlines in Agile, so I asked for story points and treated them as deadlines. That's so dumb. We all know that in the world of Scrum, we don't have to use story points. Let me get out of the way so you can see the whole thing. We don't have to use story points. But even when we do use story points, there's no obligation to get a certain amount of stories done every sprint. Like some people think their velocity needs to stay the same every sprint. No, it doesn't. It could very well fluctuate. It could very well change. So just be aware of that. All right. Okie dokie, my friends. I hope you have enjoyed this very quick review of some of the most ridiculous memes out there. If you are an Agile aficionado and you are looking to learn a little bit more about Agile, and you want to take any of those professional exams, you know, one of the things you could do is go on down to our website, Praizion, and when you scroll down, you'll be able to jump into one-on-one coaching with me if you're looking to take any of those professional exams. It could be any exam. It could be the PSM, it could be the PSPO, it could be the ACP. Just check out this page here. It's also pmanonymous.com. Or you could go on down to agileaficionado.com. All roads lead to this website. But this enables you to get one-on-one coaching with me to learn more about Agile, to be more agile in your thinking and in your approach. Maybe you're working on taking a professional exam. I'll coach you, equip you, mentor you, and help you with that. Also on our site, if you're looking to learn more about Jira, we got that there as well. We've also got user story mapping fundamentals, if you need that. And we've also got product owner coaching. We also have a track on product roadmaps as well. So go on down to that website, praizion.com, check it out. And if you need any assistance, I'll be more than happy to assist you, all right? This is just episode 1. There's a boatload more ridiculous memes that I didn't get a chance to show you today. There's one about Jira. I'll probably show you that one next time. Just all around absolutely hilarious stuff. All right. Just one more slide I need to show you, and then we'll be done for the day. It was the one about fake agile. There's a lot of fake agile out there, and you got to be aware. If someone is showing you a framework and promising you success in agile with a framework or with a method, they're not your friend, and they are lying. I don't care how long they've spent trying to sell it to you with big old fancy charts and images. Someone's promising you they can scale the agile mindset or the agile movement, or they'll scale a framework so well that your company will see enormous profits. And that's even a bad mindset right there. Because the reason why we are agile in our mindset and in our approach is for the customer's competitive advantage. It's not about us at first. It's really more about the customer. And if our customer is finding value and benefits and things are working well, it's going to affect us invariably. Think about it like that, all right? So I would rather people call it something else, right? But don't say you're scaling a mindset. You cannot do that. I've got huge issues with scaling. And when I look at the frameworks that are out there, the one that I see as being agile, especially in nature, is the Nexus approach. The reason is it is lightweight and it does not contravene the Agile Manifesto value number 1. It does not. I know this firsthand because I have taken the Scale Professional Scrum exam from Ken Schwaber. I know a lot of people have no respect for co-creators of Scrum, but you should have respect for Ken Schwaber and Jeff Sutherland as the forefathers and co-creators. Now, I know they deferred to another couple of gentlemen as the real creators. That should tell you a thing or two about their humility. But I digress. The bottom line is a lot of people are trying to reap without sowing. They don't want to put in the time. They just want to press that microwave button and out comes everything, all in agile order by buying into a framework they think they can scale. It's a bunch of lies, a bunch of baloney. If you did succeed, trust me, it was because of the team. It was because of a mindset. No one does anything great by just framework and model. No. So our mindset primarily needs to be on being agile in our thinking. All right? I hope you enjoyed these ridiculous memes. I look forward to seeing you in the second episode. Dumbest Agile Memes. You take care. See you around.